Welcome to Bold Bite, where we explore fascinating topics from around the world. Today, we're counting down the top 10 deadliest diseases in human history. From ancient plagues to modern pandemics, these diseases have caused untold suffering and death throughout the ages. So let's dive in and explore the history of these deadly diseases. Number 10. Cholera. Cholera is a bacterial infection that causes severe diarrhea and dehydration. Cholera has killed millions of people throughout history, particularly in areas with poor sanitation and limited access to clean water. The disease is still a major problem in many parts of the world, but advances in medicine and sanitation have helped to reduce its impact. Number 9. Leprosy. Leprosy is a chronic bacterial infection that affects the skin, nerves, and mucous membranes. Leprosy has been feared and misunderstood for centuries, leading to social stigma and isolation for those who suffer from the disease. Although leprosy is now treatable with antibiotics, it still affects thousands of people around the world, particularly in developing countries. Number 8. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is a bacterial infection that primarily affects the lungs. Tuberculosis has been a major killer throughout history, claiming millions of lives over the centuries. Although advances in medicine have made tuberculosis treatable, the disease still affects millions of people around the world, particularly in developing countries. Number 7. Smallpox. Smallpox is a highly contagious viral disease that causes fever, rash, and scarring. Smallpox was one of the deadliest diseases in history, killing millions of people before a vaccine was developed in the 18th century. Thanks to widespread vaccination campaigns, smallpox has been eradicated from the world, making it the only disease to be completely eliminated. Number 6. Influenza. Influenza is a viral infection that causes fever, cough, and body aches. Influenza has caused several pandemics throughout history, including the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918-1919, which killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide. Although influenza is now preventable with vaccines, it still affects millions of people every year and can be deadly for those with weakened immune systems. Number 5. Ebola. Ebola is a viral hemorrhagic fever that causes fever, body aches, and bleeding. Ebola has caused several outbreaks in Africa since it was first discovered in 1976, killing thousands of people and causing widespread fear and panic. Although Ebola is now treatable with experimental drugs, it remains a serious threat in parts of Africa. Number 4. Malaria. Malaria is a parasitic infection that is spread by mosquitoes. Malaria has been a major killer throughout history, particularly in tropical regions of the world. Although advances in medicine and mosquito control have helped to reduce its impact, malaria still kills hundreds of thousands of people every year, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, where the majority of cases occur. Number 3. The Plague of Justinian. The Plague of Justinian is a plague which killed an estimated 25 to 50 million people during the 6th–8th centuries. The Plague of Justinian was caused by a bacterium that spread through rats and fleas, similar to the bubonic plague. It caused fever, chills, and painful swellings known as buboes, which gave it its name. The pandemic had a devastating impact on the Byzantine Empire, and its effects were felt throughout the Mediterranean world. Number 2. HIV or AIDS. HIV is a viral infection that attacks the immune system. HIV has caused a global pandemic, claiming millions of lives since it was first identified in the 1980s. Although antiretroviral therapy has made the disease more manageable, there is still no cure, and the epidemic continues to affect millions of people around the world, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa. Number 1. And finally, the deadliest disease in human history is, drumroll please, the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918–1919. The Spanish flu was caused by a strain of influenza virus that was particularly virulent and deadly. It infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide, killing an estimated 50 million people, or 3% of the world's population at the time. The pandemic had a profound impact on global politics, economics, and culture, and it continues to be studied and debated by scientists and historians today. And there you have it, the top 10 deadliest diseases in human history. From ancient plagues to modern pandemics, these diseases have shaped the course of human history, causing untold suffering and death throughout the ages. But despite the challenges posed by these diseases, human ingenuity and perseverance have helped us to develop new treatments, preventions, and cures that have saved countless lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history, and we'll see you next time on Bold Bite.